Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today, obviously, I'm back on the road, but I want to do a quick video for you before I start attending events tonight, because here's what's going on. The healthcare privacy laws are starting to get stronger here in the United States. I think overall, this is a really good thing. Now, this is coming from the Hill, and essentially, before I begin, cribbing from them, this is obviously born out of a political situation, and so let me do my normal, disclaimer here. I like to say that cybersecurity is agnostic to politics, but we're not immune from it. I also do not care what your political positions are. I am just an advocate for privacy, and here we are. And so with that backdrop, understand some of you may like this news, some of you may not like this news, but from a privacy standpoint, I think we should all agree it's a good thing. And here's what's going on. The White House is proposing to revamp the main federal health privacy law to offer stronger legal protections for people who obtain abortions, as well as the providers who perform the procedure. Now, hear me out before I lose half my audience here. The Department of Health and Human Services, the Office for Civil Rights, specifically, that's the one that runs HIPAA, will soon issue a proposal that would prevent an individual's private medical information from being disclosed to state individuals who want to investigate, sue, prosecute, or otherwise an individual, a healthcare provider, or a loved one, essentially for performing that. So, quote, HHS has heard from patients, providers, and organizations representing thousands of individuals that this change is needed to protect patient-provider confidentiality and prevent medical records from being used against people for merely seeking, obtaining, providing, or facilitating lawful reproductive health care. That is according to the HHS in their statement. Now, the proposal would update the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, known as HIPAA, that I've already mentioned, to cover the information of people who may cross state lines to avoid a ban, because many states at the moment are banning, abortions and all of that. And we've seen in the news some ping-ponging where one judge said, okay, we're going to ban this pill, that can facilitate, an abortion, and another judge rescinded it immediately. And so, I mean, this is where we are at right now, in the culture war. Now, this would also apply to any type of reproductive health care that's protected under federal law, such as miscarriage management. Oftentimes, those use the same medications, and that's regardless of which state the care is provided, but that information would not necessarily be protected if a patient has an abortion in a state that expressly bans it, meaning if you are in one of those states and you choose to terminate your pregnancy, then you are liable under those state laws for whatever potential repercussions, criminal or otherwise, your state has. And I think overall, forgetting the topic of abortion, because I know there are people there that are going to be watching this or listening to this that are pro-life, pro-choice. Put that aside for a minute. The mere fact that we have a right to privacy in this company that is enshrined in the Constitution. We have a right to healthcare privacy is beyond important. And so this goes beyond simply reproductive rights, if you will, and goes to absolutely anything. What if, basically a state or there's a movement to say, okay, well, we're going to ban another XYZ treatment and all of that. We should have absolute right to hold our privacy, as basically as sacrosanct. If I go to the doctor, I have every right to say, do not share my information with anybody. And I have to sign HIPAA consent forms for third parties, such as medical billers and all of that when I go to the doctor and then I receive a bill. But I should have to say, no, you do not have my consent, state of whatever, pick one of the states out of the 50 to do that. You should have to get a court order in the same way that you shouldn't be able to go into my house, unless there's exigent circumstances to basically say, oh yeah, well, we want to take a look at Nick's house because we suspect him of doing something. This is a slippery slope that we're talking about. And I don't like to make, illogical arguments here, but this is literally what we are talking about. What we are seeing is in a situation like this, if they are going to enforce a law that says you cannot do X and they suspect you of doing X, there should be some kind of process that simply says, okay, they can't go in and look at all of your stuff. You have to have, legal protections there. You have to be able to basically have your day in court to say, no, you have no right to this information whatsoever. And so I think this is beyond important because we're not just talking about reproductive rights here. We're talking about healthcare and privacy rights in general. If I am going through very sensitive health things in my life and I don't want those out there, you shouldn't have to basically, or rather the state should not have the ability to simply say, yoink, let's go ahead and take a look at this. And then for whatever reason, that gets leaked out and I do a breaches of the week every single week. Half of them are healthcare, so this is a huge issue. And I think that if you're really thinking this through and you're able to put aside the hot button topic of reproductive rights, specifically abortion right now, and just look at this from the privacy standpoint, I think that when we are going through machinations right now that are weakening privacy in some states based off of people's choices, that in and of itself is not good. You want to ban it, you don't want to ban it, whatever. My point is that I have a right to privacy, as does every other citizen here. And when it comes to healthcare, we actually have a law that basically says that we can. And so if we're strengthening that law, I think in the long run, it's a good thing, because quite frankly, if it happens for one aspect of healthcare, it can happen for another aspect of healthcare. And the firmer we make those laws that enshrine our privacy, our right to basically handle our data as we see fit, that is beyond important. And so overall, I think this is a good thing. And there you go. And please, I do not want to get into the debate on reproductive rights and all of that. That is not what this is about. This is purely about privacy. Go have that debate somewhere else. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, where we're not really going to get into politics. We're agnostic to it, but we're not immune from it. And feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. Same thing. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private, especially with your healthcare. Take care.